The Young and the Restless. Spoilers. Thurdays. Full episodes February 27, 2025. In the oppressive darkness of the abandoned asylum, where every creaking door and flickering light spoke of forgotten horrors, Phyllis and Sharon found a rare moment of quiet, a fleeting pause in a nightmare that seemed to stretch into infinity. Huddled together in a dusty, dilapidated room, they began to piece together the puzzle of their kidnapping, their whispered conversation echoing against the cold, concrete walls. Predicting the unseen puppeteer, Phyllis, ever the calm and resilient soul, spoke softly yet firmly. Sharon, we must consider why we were taken in the first place. There must be a method to this madness. Sharon, her eyes reflecting both fear and determination, nodded in agreement. Despite their dire circumstances, the two women were determined to uncover the truth. They speculated on the identity of their captor, a figure whose presence was as enigmatic as it was terrifying. Could the mastermind behind their abduction be someone with a professional background in medicine? The sterile corridors and clinical detritus scattered about the asylum hinted at a connection to a doctor or someone intimately familiar with medical practices. Perhaps, in a twisted perversion of healing, the kidnapper was using his knowledge to orchestrate a scenario that bordered on both psychological torture and surgical precision. Phyllis continued, her voice resolute, I hold no grudge against anyone. I've spent too many years chasing peace. But someone wants to harm us, either to break our spirit or to serve some unknown purpose. This isn't random, it's meticulously planned. Sharon, who had once trusted in the inherent goodness of people, now faced the cruel reality that even in the pursuit of tranquility, darkness could lurk behind the most respectable facades. Their theories, while tentative, revolved around a disturbing possibility. Their captor might be someone who had once been revered in a professional field, a doctor whose hands once saved lives but now sought to control and manipulate through fear. The web of family turmoil. While Phyllis and Sharon wrestled with the mystery behind their captivity, turmoil was brewing on the other side of Genoa City. In the heart of the Newman estate, relationships that had long been fraught with tension were reaching a boiling point. Kyle, caught in a painful conflict of loyalties, had refused to meet with Claire. His decision was not born of disdain for his sister or her intentions, but rather of fierce determination to stand by Summer, whose recent actions had shaken the very foundations of their family. Summer's struggles, her defiant outbursts, her relentless pursuit of independence, and her willingness to inflict pain in her quest for control, had left her emotionally scarred. Kyle's refusal to align with Claire was a silent declaration that he would support Summer through her suffering, even as he wrestled with the looming fear that Phyllis might not survive the unfolding horrors. Elsewhere, Chance, a figure whose analytical mind and intuitive insights often cut through the chaos, sought an audience with Victor. The enigmatic patriarch, known not only for his unyielding authority but also for his uncanny ability to read between the lines, was perhaps the only one who could offer guidance in this labyrinthine crisis. When Chance posed his urgent questions, seeking clarity on the bizarre kidnapping that had entrapped Sharon and Phyllis, Victor's eyes darkened with a grim understanding. The biggest enemy in Genoa isn't who you'd expect, Victor confided, his tone laced with a mixture of anger and sorrow. It's not just the shadows of our past or the treachery within our own circle, it's the unseen forces that manipulate us all. Unsettling revelations and lingering mysteries. The conversation with Victor had sparked a chain reaction among the family's most astute minds. Rumors had long swirled that figures such as Jordan or even Ian Ward might still be alive, a possibility that cast a long shadow over the city. Yet, the hospital's grim records had confirmed that Ian Ward had not only died but had been cremated, his remains reduced to ashes in a final, irrevocable act. This contradiction deepened the mystery. If Ian Ward was indeed gone, then who else might be lurking in the background, pulling strings in a game far more complex than anyone could have imagined? It was in this charged atmosphere of uncertainty and peril that Chance, Michael, and Victor, the so-called genius trio, assembled in a clandestine meeting. Their goal was simple in theory yet monumental in practice: to rescue Sharon and Phyllis from the nightmarish confines of the derelict asylum and to unmask the elusive figure behind their abduction. Their conversation was punctuated by meticulous analysis and strategic planning. Victor, whose mind had weathered countless storms, emphasized that the greatest threat was not immediately visible. The enemy, he warned, is as much a part of the shadows as he is of our midst. We must consider every possibility, including those linked to the medical world. Michael, whose expertise in technology and surveillance often provided the family with a tactical edge, began reviewing the asylum's schematics and the layout of the corridors. Every camera angle, every hidden passageway, was a clue in the intricate puzzle left behind by their captor. The genius brain at work in the secretive confines of Victor's study, where the walls were adorned with relics of past triumphs and portraits of bygone family legends, the trio delved deep into their investigation. Their strategy was multifaceted. While Michael combed through digital records and hacked into the asylum's archaic security system, Victor and Chance traced connections to potential suspects within the medical community. The notion that a respected doctor might have turned into a deranged mastermind added a layer of psychological complexity to their mission. Was it possible that someone who had once vowed to heal had become obsessed with control, using the abandoned asylum as his personal laboratory of fear? Chance, whose analytical prowess was matched only by his empathy, recalled subtle hints from the early days of the investigation. There were whispers about a doctor who had lost everything, a brilliant mind consumed by grief and madness, he mused. Perhaps this man, driven by a tragic past, has decided that no one should ever be allowed to feel the peace he lost. Victor's steely gaze confirmed that the pieces of the puzzle were slowly coming together. We must be prepared, he declared. Every secret conversation, every detail from that asylum might be the key to not only saving Sharon and Phyllis, but also to stopping a man whose actions threaten the very fabric of our city. The race against time back within the crumbling walls of the asylum, Phyllis and Sharon continued their quiet deliberations, unaware of the sophisticated rescue operation being orchestrated on their behalf. Their discussion turned to the possibility that the kidnapper's identity was intricately linked to the hospital's medical history. Could it be that the man responsible once practiced here, or perhaps was involved in a scandal that ruined his career? Sharon wondered aloud, her voice tinged with both fear and grim curiosity. Phyllis, who had long sought a life free of vengeance and bitterness, responded softly, "I only want peace. I never wanted to hurt anyone. But if our captor is a doctor twisted by fate, then understanding his motives might be the only way to defeat him." Their predictions, though speculative, underscored the twisted irony of their situation. The same halls that had once been meant for healing now served as a macabre stage for psychological warfare. The walls seemed to whisper secrets of a bygone era, of medical breakthroughs and failures, of lives saved and lives shattered. And somewhere within this echo of the past, the kidnapper's true identity loomed, waiting for the moment to reveal itself. A family united by crisis. Meanwhile, the Newman family was wrestling with its own internal battles. Kyle's steadfast support for Summer, even as he struggled with the overwhelming pain and fear of losing those he loved, was a testament to the complicated bonds that defined their world. His refusal to meet with Claire was not an act of defiance but a commitment to stand by Summer in her time of need, a promise to shoulder her burdens, even if it meant navigating a minefield of emotions and expectations. The family meeting convened by Victor had left scars that ran deep, yet it also served as a rallying cry. With every conversation and every clandestine meeting, it became increasingly clear that the greatest enemy in Genoa City was not just the specter of internal strife, but the insidious presence of an external force, a man who, through a twisted blend of intellect and cruelty, had made it his mission to dismantle lives piece by piece. The possibility that this mastermind might be linked to the medical profession added a chilling dimension to his threat. In a city where the lines between friend and foe were constantly blurred, identifying this enemy was paramount. The path forward in a final, determined push against the tide of darkness, Chance, Michael, and Victor solidified their plan. Their objective was not only to breach the fortress-like asylum and rescue Sharon and Phyllis, but also to expose the true nature of their captor to the world. Every move they made was calculated, every decision weighed against the possibility of catastrophic failure. They knew that time was of the essence, and that every second brought their loved ones closer to potential doom. The trio pored over every scrap of evidence, linking together threads that spanned years of whispered rumors and half-forgotten scandals. Victor, with his unmatched insight into human nature, concluded that the greatest threat was the man who operated unseen, whose intelligence was so profound that every countermeasure they took was anticipated. "Our enemy is a ghost," Victor warned. "A specter of a man whose past in the medical field has given him the tools to manipulate life and death. And until we identify him, no one is truly safe." A glimmer of hope amidst the darkness. As the intricate rescue operation advanced, a fragile hope began to shine through the pervasive gloom. The combined efforts of the genius trio promised not only a pathway to liberate Sharon and Phyllis, but also the possibility of unveiling a plot that had shaken the very core of Genoa City. In the depths of an abandoned asylum, once a place meant for healing but now a prison of despair, Phyllis and Sharon clung to the belief that truth, however elusive, could be found. Their quiet conversation, filled with predictions and uneasy theories, was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit even in the face of overwhelming terror. Outside, the storm of family conflict and hidden agendas continued to swirl. Kyle's determination to support Summer, despite the heavy cost, and Victor's steely resolve to maintain family unity, stood as beacons amid the chaos. Meanwhile, Chance's relentless pursuit of answers, armed with the combined intellect of Michael and Victor, represented a final, daring attempt to reclaim control over a situation that had spiraled into the realm of nightmares. In the end, as plans were set in motion and strategies refined with the precision of a master chess player, one thing became clear: the battle against this unseen enemy was far from over. It was a contest that would require every ounce of ingenuity, every spark of courage, and every shred of trust that the Newman family and their allies could muster. For in a world where shadows concealed the true face of terror, the ultimate victory depended on exposing the darkness for what it was, a twisted, calculating force that had to be confronted head-on, or risk engulfing everything in its path. Thus, with hearts steeled and minds united in purpose, the stage was set for a confrontation that promised to redefine the very boundaries of fear and resilience. The genius trio, Chance, Michael, and Victor, prepared to embark on a mission that was as perilous as it was necessary, driven by the unwavering belief that even the most elaborate of schemes could be unraveled by the light of truth. And as the echoes of their determination reverberated through the silent corridors of both the asylum and Genoa City, hope, however fragile, began to emerge from the darkness. In the midst of the ever-turbulent lives of the Newmans and their extended circle, moments of genuine love and conflict wove together to create a tapestry of passion, betrayal, and hope. In one corner of this intricate saga, Adam and Chelsea discovered a love that was both steadfast and true, a rare light in a world so often darkened by deception and strife. A love that defied the chaos. Adam had long been known for his unwavering determination and sometimes brooding intensity. Yet, with Chelsea by his side, those very qualities transformed into the building blocks of a tender romance. Their relationship was born out of shared dreams, quiet understanding, and an unspoken promise to carve out a better future for themselves. Every whispered conversation, every secret glance exchanged between them, testified to a bond that was both resilient and deeply sincere. On a crisp evening, as the city lights flickered in the distance and the burdens of the day began to lift, Adam took Chelsea's hand and led her through the bustling streets. Their plans for the future were as clear as the stars above. They would build a home together, a sanctuary from the chaos that threatened to overwhelm their world. In that moment, love was more than an emotion. It was a promise of a new beginning, a future where hope outshone despair. Yet, even as Adam and Chelsea reveled in the purity of their connection, there was one silent witness to their unfolding story, a young man named Connor. Hiding just behind a slightly ajar door, Connor watched as the couple embraced the promise of their shared destiny. With a subtle, knowing smile, he quietly retreated into the shadows. In that fleeting moment of observation, Connor felt an overwhelming sense of contentment. He understood that Adam and Chelsea's love would serve as a beacon in his own life, a symbol of the happiness and fulfillment that awaited him in the future. Connor's smile was not one of envy, but of quiet reassurance, an acknowledgement that the life he dreamt of was well within reach if he, too, dared to believe in the transformative power of love. The sanctuary of a shared home for Adam every day with Chelsea was a step toward the realization of a long-held dream, to build a home that was not just a shelter, but a haven of love, trust, and mutual support. They envisioned a modest yet welcoming house, nestled in a quiet neighborhood where laughter and warmth would echo through every room. Their plans were simple yet profound. They would spend lazy Sundays decorating their living space with relics of their past, celebrating each small victory, and dreaming of the future they hoped to share. In the glow of their love, every challenge seemed surmountable, every obstacle a mere stepping stone on the path to lasting happiness. Adam's love for Chelsea was not merely about shared dreams, it was a deep, abiding commitment. His gentle determination was reflected in every word he spoke and every decision he made. To him, Chelsea was not only a partner but the very embodiment of the future he longed for, a future defined by peace, stability, and the unyielding belief that love could conquer even the darkest forces. Their union promised to be a testament to resilience, a declaration that amidst a world rife with uncertainty, a life built on genuine affection and unwavering support was not only possible, but inevitable. A clash of ideals, Lily and Damien far removed from the tender romance of Adam and Chelsea. Another tempest was raging, a storm of conflict that involved Lily and Damien. Unlike the harmonious union celebrated by Adam and Chelsea, the relationship between Lily and Damien was fraught with tension and deep-seated resentment. What had once been a spark of connection had long since burned out, replaced by a bitter power struggle that left Lily feeling both suffocated and betrayed. It all came to a head on an afternoon that seethed with raw emotion. Damien, ever the inquisitor, relentlessly prodded into the details of Lily's past and the choices she had made. His probing questions were not born of genuine concern but rather an intrusive need to control, to know every facet of her life as if he could shape her destiny with his knowledge. "Why are you hiding parts of your past?" he demanded, his tone laced with a disturbing mix of curiosity and entitlement. For Lily, Damien's constant interrogation was a bitter reminder of how far they had drifted from what might have once been a semblance of love. Fury ignited within Lily at the very thought of being treated as if she were a puzzle to be solved or a case file to be scrutinized. "We were never truly in love," she retorted sharply, her eyes blazing with indignation. To her, Damien had become nothing more than a perverse figure, a man who wielded his authority and obsession as weapons rather than as a means of protection or care. She could no longer tolerate the invasive scrutiny or the condescending tone that accompanied every question. In her mind, Damien was a pervert masquerading as a lover, someone whose presence was a constant reminder that intimacy had been replaced by control. Determined to reclaim her autonomy, Lily resolved that she would no longer stand by Damien's side. His persistent probing and the suffocating atmosphere of mistrust were intolerable. There was no place for such behavior in a relationship that was meant to be built on mutual respect and understanding. Lily's decision was not made lightly, it was a culmination of years of simmering resentment and the painful realization that love, when stripped of respect, could become a prison in itself. She made it clear that she had no intention of being tethered to someone who treated her as an object of investigation, someone who valued control over compassion. The tenuous balance between love and conflict as these two stories unfolded against the backdrop of a world where loyalty was often tested and hearts were both broken and mended, a quiet observer might have wondered at the strange duality of human relationships. On one side, there was the promise of a bright future, a future built on the foundation of true love, as seen in Adam and Chelsea's tender plans for a shared home. On the other side, there was the painful reality of relationships gone awry, where control and possessiveness reigned, as exemplified by Lily and Damien's bitter clashes. In the quiet moments that followed the confrontations, each character retreated into introspection. Adam and Chelsea, united by their shared dreams, found solace in the idea that love could heal even the deepest wounds. Their vision of a future together was a stark contrast to the turmoil that plagued other corners of their world, a reminder that, despite all the chaos, there remained a possibility for renewal and genuine happiness. For Connor, the silent witness to these unfolding dramas, the scenes played out like a prologue to his own hopeful narrative. His smile was a quiet promise to himself, a vow that he, too, would one day experience the kind of happiness that seemed so tangible in the lives of Adam and Chelsea.